Hi, everybody. How are you?
Hi, how are you?
Good to see you again, Ganesh.
Same here.
Doing well.
Yeah.
Are you currently in West Virginia?
Yes.
Did you get as much snow as we did?
Oh yeah. Yeah, we had lots of snow yesterday, and yeah, it was very difficult today. Yeah, my wife had to go to mall, and she actually has a kind of small shop there, and
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, last night we oh, Hong left. Last night my wife and I actually finalized a deal on a car,
Mm-hmm.
and we work in the basement, and
Oh.
we didn't realize that the weather was so bad.
Mm-hmm.
And so we were talking with the salesman, and he was like, "So what time do you want to come in?" And we were like, we can be there at 6. And we got out, and we were like a third of the way there, and we realized, oh my God, the roads are horrible, and everybody's driving 30 miles an hour. This was such a bad idea, but
Yeah.
we went through with it anyway. So we got lucky.
Yeah.
So the two of you were the only two registrants for this webinar, and Hong has left. So looks like it's just you and me now.
Okay.
Hold on one second. I'm gonna put on a hat to get my hair out of my bothering me.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, much more comfortable with the headphones. So we can do this however you want. I mean, I can we can just do a Q&A
Actually,
session.
yeah. I'm like kind of at the brink of like designing my course for this spring, and also like I probably have already told you that I got a grant for writing, implementing or writing a textbook for that is to be implemented on or before the fall of 2021.
Okay.
And so I'm actually in right now in two projects here, because the first thing, as I already told you, I'm going to adopt this general chemistry second for my spring students.
Okay.
And still I have so many questions in there, and I also at the same time start working on the other part of writing, and it looks like I need a lot of help in those things,
Okay.
and I tried echo, and I don't know, I mean, there are so many things I need help with, and
Okay. Well, then it sounds
so
like you would
probably
benefit
we
from.
should go in, because this is for the spring. Yeah.
Sorry, there was a hitch in the video there, and I thought that you had stopped talking, so I apologize. But it sounded like that based on what you just said, you could benefit from a regular basic walkthrough of Echo, which is what this webinar is intended to be. So why don't we go ahead and start that? And welcome back, Hong. I hope that the connection is okay on your end.
Yeah, it's good. At the first time I was in, my audio does not work, so I have to exit out and then come back in.
I'm glad you came back. Glad to hear it. Okay, so Hong, are you remind me? Are you planning on being part of the authoring effort at GSU?
Okay, this is the deal for me. So right now we're piloting the OLI for our campuses.
Yeah.
And so this is basically the first time we are adopting the OLI material. So we are thinking, so maybe we need to learn a little bit about echo.
Okay.
Because we do, like the material right now, but we might consider, adding some more contents or change part of it.
Perfect.
So the GSU downtown campus, they're pretty familiar with this system, but for us, our students are different from their, the downtown students. So we might need to make some changes. And besides, right now we are having the support class for the stats class. So we're thinking if we can, make, the support within the OLI, so that, they're not going to be at two different places, because right now we house the support class in iCollege.
Okay.
So
What do you mean by a support class?
So it is called 0996. So that class is designed for students who are not quite ready for the regular stats class.
Yeah.
So they need, sort of like a prerequisite thing, but now it's called co-requisite.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So if possible, we would like to, put those stuff in OLI as well.
Okay. Perfect.
If possible, of course.
Right. Okay. Okay. Excellent. So it sounds like this is perfectly designed for both of your needs.
Yeah, sorry to interrupt you. Hong, what do you teach, by the way? I'm Ganesh Gimre. I'm from West Virginia University.
Statistics.
Okay. Statistics. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Sounds good.
Yeah, a little bit of background, Ganesh. The folks at GSU have 2 campuses that use the OLI statistics material. Hong teaches on the Clarkston campus. Is that right, Hong?
It's actually Alpharetta campus.
Oh, okay.
One of the, perimeter campuses.
Yeah, one of the perimeter campuses, right. Okay. So the folks at downtown, Ganesh, have been working actually for about 2 years to customize the OLI stats materials. They've been writing their own parameterized questions mostly, and also sort of contextualizing it for their student audience, and have been sharing it with the perimeter campus users. And I guess now it sounds like, Hong, you're looking to do a perimeter version that would be slightly different from the...
Yes, I do, like the flexibility,
Yeah. Yeah, good. Are you thinking of starting with the main campus version as your source material, or starting with the OLI canon version?
Yeah, right now we're using the same thing the downtown is using. And at the beginning of the fall semester, actually in the summer, we each of us actually already requested a sandbox, I think, from you.
Yeah.
So I started like kind of playing with it. Yeah, but it looks like there's a lot to learn.
Yeah, it's definitely a lot easier once there's a bit of a learning curve, but once you go through an orientation and you get some support and you actually start digging in with a little bit of knowledge, you'll see that it's relatively straightforward from there.
Great, that's what I'm here for.
Awesome. Okay, so let me start sharing my screen. Oops, that's not what I meant to hit. I meant to hit share screen. Okay, so are you seeing a syllabus page for Gen Chem 1 at the moment? Okay, great. So this is just a demo section where I want to give you a little bit of background about how we structure our courses, because that determines how we structure and enable features in Echo. So, it's a sort of form follows function approach. So with an OLI course, and just I'll give you the 30-second speech here. OLI is a long-running research project at Carnegie Mellon. We've been looking into effective online delivery techniques for about 20 years. It's been since 2002 that we've been doing this, and this approach is the product of all of that research, our research plus the research of others at CMU and others in the learning sciences community. Our courses start with a syllabus page that we try to keep relatively clean. It is not cluttered with pages. It's just the areas of the structure at the unit and module level, plus the high level items that might be scored. And that's all that we have on the syllabus page. It's meant to keep things nice and simple. It is when you jump in, this is where we demo with the reaction stoichiometry module, because that's where the author went in with some dummy students and generated some data. But on any of these, it would be just like this, where if you click the module, you land on a sort of table of contents for the module. And that table of contents is going to have all the learning objectives that the students can expect to encounter in the module, along with the list of pages. So this learning objective is the first pillar upon which OLI courses are created. So the student-centered measurable learning objective is the main foundation. I'm sorry, excuse me one moment. We place them at the top of every page, and you'll find that they are typically designed with action verbs like apply or calculate or demonstrate. And that's so that exercises can be created to enable students to actually demonstrate the meeting of those learning objectives. So you can imagine that you can create activities where students will apply stoichiometric relationships to calculate amounts, etc. And so we try to design all of the learning objectives to be student-centered and measurable in this way. A typical page is going to be a little bit of exposition or instruction of any kind. It can be text, it can be images. This is a worked example, for example. Here's the worked example in interactive format, where the author created it in 5 slides using H5P and then plugged it in Echo. And so the student just walks through the worked example. And then this is the second tenet. You immediately put into practice what you've learned. So instead of having an area for your homework and an area for your videos and your reading and an area for tests, everything is interleaved and linear. So it's very much like an interactive book in that way. You will do your reading and then you will do your practice right there on the page. Here, I'm sorry, because I do this as a demo, it retains my my answers. So the second tenet is that we learn, or I'm sorry, we practice early and often, right there on the page. The students are not asked to do many pages of reading and then retain everything and go do much practice elsewhere. Instead, it's all interleaved. And here, the third component of that the OLI approach is the immediate feedback that's targeted feedback. So these answers are designed very specifically to reflect common misconceptions that students would present at this point. The author, the subject matter expert, knows what mistakes students typically make in this calculation, and when they're calculating the number of grams of CO needed. And what she has done is she has designed the answers to represent those mistakes. So in this case, I chose the correct answer. And instead of just saying correct, there's some reinforcement in the feedback, just in case the student guessed. If the student guessed, they wouldn't know why it's right. So we give them some help and reinforce, give them some information about why it's right. But the wrong answers are meant to address the mistakes that they make. So in this case, the student didn't use the correct stoichiometric ratio. In this case, they inverted the molar ratio of carbon monoxide and iron. So you can see how this feedback was designed very specifically to address common mistakes that students would make. Now, every time a student clicks on something, we can learn more about their learning state. So all of these questions are skill tagged. There are skills that the course designer has identified as being assessed here. So what are the skills that the student is working on when she works through this question? Those skills are attached to these questions so that every time the student encounters that skill, we know a little bit more about their learning state. Okay, so that data collection it fuels what we call the learning dashboard. It actually fuels several things, but the learning dashboard is the most immediate tool that is fueled by that tagging. The dashboard is an instructor tool where you can see, you get visualizations. I'm sorry, it thought that I wasn't signed in. Where you have a visualization of student performance. So here are those 3 learning objectives that we just saw in the last, on those pages. Here's that first one: apply stoichiometric relationships to calculate the amounts of substances. And when you click on it, you get some information about where your students sit in with what we call a learning estimate. So these buckets over here represent students that we have calculated as having a high learning estimate, moderate, low, or haven't done enough work yet to make a calculation. And a learning estimate is essentially the prediction that on a new question on that subject, on that learning objective, they would answer correctly. So these students we think are doing great. The students in the moderate may need a little bit of help. These students are struggling. So you want to click on that bucket. Now you can see who those students are, and you can reach out to them if you need to. So all of this, what you're seeing is, the foundation is created in Echo. So it isn't just the material. It isn't just the text and the videos and the questions you ask. It's the design of these exercises, the feedback that's associated with them, and the skill tagging so that you can use this information. The larger, I mentioned that this data is used in 2 ways. This is the primary immediate way, the learning dashboard, so that during the administration of the course, you can see where the students are struggling the most and address those issues. The larger feedback loop is actually the course design loop. So we have a tool in Echo that will pull in student performance data and identify all of the questions that have been written in the course that students are struggling with, so that you can, it's not a silver bullet. It doesn't tell you exactly what to fix. It tells you it helps you identify that there is a problem. So perhaps the question is worded poorly. Perhaps it's too difficult too early in the scaffolding process. The problems, it could be any kind of problem, but the system will identify the questions that the students are struggling with the most, so that you can dig in and find out the reason why and address it with, targeted iterative improvements instead of just guessing what needs to be fixed semester to semester. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so that's been a lot in a very condensed space. Any questions about what I've discussed so far?
Since I'm using the OLI this semester, so I'm pretty familiar with these analytic tools. So it's very useful. Could you talk a little bit more about the Echo, the authoring tool? So how can we add our own video, or maybe change the text a little bit? Because for now, we feel like the material we're having right now is too text heavy.
Okay.
So we want to like embed more videos.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
I want to know how to do that in Echo.
Okay. Okay. So yeah, I'll show you. I'll start with the Echo representation of this page, and then show you how you can update it and you can build your own new pages. So this is the chemical reactions, mass and volume of solution page. And if you jump over to Echo, here is that page. We're looking at the module 23 currently, reaction stoichiometry, which is where this sits in the course. And the module is comprised of these pages, which you see over here. And when you click on it, you actually access the page itself. So this is what a page looks like in the Echo environment. It's very much like a combination of Word, where you have a ribbon at the top, and WordPress, where you have elements down the page. So a text box, and then the next thing you see is an example. And in that example are nested items. So you have text and you have a formula, and then down here you have an image. So this is how the page is constructed, and ultimately looks like this. So you have your text and your example that includes more text, and it includes a formula and more text and an image. When you want to add things to a page, you identify the place where you want to insert it. So in this case, because it's not a palette where you put a cursor necessarily, you simply identify the place after which you want to place the new piece of content. So let's say I want to put an image right after this text. I would highlight the text and come up to the ribbon and insert an image. And I will insert these gold pieces. And now they've been added to the page, and they're enormous, so I'm probably going to have to change the size. I'll go and use the page preview to take a look at how it looks right now. Oh no, I guess it shrinks it to the right column size. So in Echo, you can add a piece of content and then immediately preview it and see what it would look like in the final version. Everything that you place on a page, well, most things that you place on a page have a details column over here on the right, where you can control it more. You have more fine control over it. So in this case, I'll change the width from 1,000 pixels to 650. And see if that makes it a little bit smaller. Yeah, so now it's a little smaller and it doesn't take up so much real estate. So everything that you can add up here essentially has a details area over here. So if you wanted to add a video, you would identify the location after which you want it to appear. So if I want the video after this image, I select the image, and up here I insert a YouTube video, and all you have to do is add the last part of the URL up here. I think they also have logic where if you put the full URL, it will recognize what that code is supposed to be, and it will just extract that piece. So I don't think you have to choose just this little snippet. But it's as simple as by the way, we do recommend you use YouTube because they are, up on all of the codecs and all of the technologies much more than we could ever be able to hope to keep up with. So it's a lot easier to embed a YouTube video in a course through this method. So you just upload it to YouTube and then use the URL or the code at the end of it to place here, and then you can control the dimensions if you need to. and add a title if you wanted. But then it's, that's it. It's as simple as that, and it's now on the page. So any questions about how to do that, Hong?
Yeah, these are, I think, pretty straightforward. And at the downtown campus, they have members who actually trained with Echo. And they said there's some like a programming skill needed, like JavaScript. So which part need, that?
That is in the parameterized questions. So
the questions, I see.
Yeah, so in order to create randomization of variables, that's where the JavaScript comes in.
So basically, that's when we do the question bank, right? So
Yeah.
if we want to like change or modify the contents, we do not need that. We just need to use the manual here. Okay. That's enough, right?
Okay, I have a question at this point. So for example, you have opened this chemical reaction mass and volume, something like that, this page, right? So on the left side, suppose you have on module 23, if you have chemical reactions and then the sub modules, for example, subtopics, okay? What if I want to insert a page there, for example, or even change the number, like after module 21, I don't want this chemical reactions and equations as module 22. What if I want a different thing to be added in, inserted into that before that, or maybe add or subtract, or if I want to remove this module 22 entirely, or add something between 21 and 22 entirely? How do you do that?
That is with this here on the left is called the organization. It's the scope and sequence of the course itself. And Hong, I will come back to the parameterized questions when we look at how to author those. So every course has an organization. That's the definition of what you're including. All of the pages and all of the units and modules and their structures. If you think of each of them as a container, then when you click on it, so this is unit 4, what you have over here is unit 4, the container, with all of the modules that unit 4 has.
So you can remove it,
okay?
Right? Click
so you can, yes, you can simply remove a module. Now this is,
how to add that?
You add it, you create a new module up here.
I see.
So if you want to add a new module, let's say after the introduction and before chemical reactions, you wanted to add something about atomic structure. Okay, so you've created a new module, and it gets inserted at the bottom. These are old ones from, I don't want to delete that. These are old ones from demos. So here I have that new module that I just created. I'm going to grab it and I'm going to move it up to the location I want. And then when I click on it, you can see it has been moved where I've chosen. And now this is just an assignment. When I say assignment, I don't mean like a student assignment. I mean, this is my identification of where this module belongs in the course. And it's nothing more than that. Nothing has been created. I've only said, I want this organization to have a new module here, and there are no pages in it yet. Okay, so now I have to decide what I'm putting in this module. Am I creating new pages, or am I adding existing pages that have been authored already but are not yet in the course? Or am I moving pages here from other areas in the course? So most of the time you're going to be creating new pages. So I will create my new page, and it will be about atomic structures. And now we see that module 22, the brand new module, has a page in it about atomic structures. And when I go to publish this course, that page and this structure that I've assigned will be present. And you can see now that chemical reactions and equations is module 23, and all of the numbering has changed accordingly.
Mm-hmm.
Now, this is a really good opportunity to point out the fact that this is not in any way a live authoring tool. This does not control the presentation of existing materials out there on the OLI website. This is where you create those for publication later, just like a book. You finish it, and then it gets shipped to the OLI website. We are building a system right now for live editing that permits that. But this approach was created in 2006, back when we didn't envision the need for live editing and authoring. It was more of a traditional publication model where you create a version and you put out version 1.0, and then you identify where revisions need to be made, and then you put out version 1.1 the next semester. So that's how the technology works. This does not control what your students are seeing right now. If you were to create this atomic structures page, nobody would see it but you and your team. Does that make sense?
Right. Yeah.
Right. It has not been published. This is literally a different server from the delivery site. Yeah. And they are not connected.
Okay. Before we go to Hong's, so could you also show that how to insert the already authored content into that new module or something? Like, we just created a new one, right?
Sure.
How to insert the one that was so before you created this new page, there were two options, right? One is from existing, one is from create all entire. Yeah, exactly.
Right.
How do you do that?
So we will add an existing page, and it will give you the list of pages in the course.
Okay,
and you simply type in a few letters of the title or the ID. There actually is an atomic structures page, of course. Oh wait, that's the one that I just created, never mind. Atomic theory. So we will insert the atomic theory page, and now it's there at the end of the module, and if I didn't intend for it to be at the end, I can simply move it where it should be.
I see. Okay.
All right. Alternatively, so let's say that was a page that already existed. How did you create that page previously? Here I'm going to demonstrate the undo feature, by the way. We're going to remove that page. We're going to get rid of this module because we don't need it. Up here on the overview page, we have a series of tabs, details about the project, the workflow, which is where you are in your development process, analytics, which is how you create that data set that I was explaining earlier, fuels the iterative improvement process. Resources is the tab where you have the list of everything in the course. It's all of the pages, it's all of the summative or scored assessments, it's all of your surveys, it's all of your practice assessments. So you can go in here and create a page. Here's a new, sorry, I'm getting a delay here. Here's a new page. And I've chosen to create it as a work page. So now it's down here in the list of resources, but it just exists as a page here in my repository. It's not actually in the course because I haven't assigned it a location. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
This is just a collection of everything that could be in the course. That's what the all resources list is. Over here, this is the list of stuff that I've actually put in the course, and it's because I've given it a location. I've assigned it a place in the course. So you can imagine working with a team where One person is creating the structure of the course by assigning all of them, creating the units and the modules and essentially just the layout. And in parallel, somebody else is making the pages, the actual files themselves, just creating them, not necessarily populating them, just making 100 pages with 100 titles. And they're over here and there's no content on them, but the pages as entities exist here. But they're not part of the course yet because nobody has said where they need to be. So that's how you would add an existing page to the organization. You would go to the organization editor, you would choose the module where those pages belonged, and then you would add existing page. So here's a new page. It doesn't have anything on it yet. I just created it. It's just a placeholder. So when you click on it, you can see it's just a page with nothing on it. It's ready to be authored. But now that I've added it, this is where it would sit. It would sit in module 21 as the second page. Is that unclear?
So, and then from here, in this, here's a new page, then you insert those things from those repository?
No, here is where I add my content. So first piece of instruction, and then maybe I want to add an image. And this is.
So basically, this is how you create contents from scratch.
Yep,
right?
This is a brand new page from scratch.
But one of the workbooks, for example, that was in the repository before, that the whole list of the things, can you put one of those workbooks or like any question sets or anything that was there before in that table into this here's a new page?
No, so there are two sort of levels of granularity at play here. The resources.
From the resources.
Yeah, the resources are just pages.
Like workbook page, like your cursor is there, for example, on attractive forces. Oh, okay.
Right. So the workbook page can contain these other things. The workbook page can contain a survey and it can contain an assessment, but it can't contain another workbook page. So the way this would work is that each of these would be referenced on the page. So this exists. This formative assessment means it's practice. Okay. Calculate mass is just a practice exercise. And you can see here, this isn't a page. This is just a list of questions. Okay.
Can you embed this in a page?
That's exactly how it's done. That's exactly what I was about to demonstrate.
Question, can you embed this in that? Here is the new page.
Yes, I can. So in fact, by coincidence, I've already added it to a page called Give It a New Title, where I gave I made a new page. I gave it a new title. I added some of the learning objectives and I added an image, and then I added the calculate mass exercise. And you can see that, think of this as just a reference. It's just listed on the page. When the page is published, it will be in its full form. But here, it's just a reference. Like, this is the thing I want here. And the thing I want is the calculate mass exercise.
So how do you add this assessment? Do we do it on the top?
Yep, you
learning?
do.
Okay.
That's right. So learning, just like in the organization editor, you could choose to add an existing page or make a new page. You can do the same here with assessments. So you can either insert one if it already exists, or you can create a new one from scratch right there on the page. So I just chose to create a new one, and now it exists in its templated format.
Okay.
There's just a fake introduction and question in it.
Okay.
So now that I've added it to the page, what I do is I come here and I say, here is the lead in text, refer to this table to answer the next 3 questions, etc. That kind of thing. That's what you would have in your supporting content. It could be a video, it could be a table, it can be anything. And it also isn't necessary. You don't have to have supporting content. You can go straight into the questions if you want. This is a multiple choice question. It's just a templated question. It's just fake. It points out that this is an example multiple choice question. You can either use it by editing it if you want, or you can just delete it and put in a new question. So I will add a new multiple choice question. And the right answer is A. You can see down here, A is correct. If the right answer had actually been B, I could come down here and make B the correct answer. B and A and the targeted feedback. This is incorrect. Why is it incorrect? Why is B the correct answer? Correct. Oops. Okay, so now we have an exercise. We have a new formative assessment whose name is the newest exercise. And it's embedded on a page. It's referenced on the page called Give It a New Title. So now I want to see what this looks like. I have to look at the page that it's on, because there's no such thing as looking at an exercise by itself. There's only looking at an exercise on its page. So when I go to the page, Give It a New Title, I do a preview, and now I'll be able to see the Learn by Doing exercise that I just created from scratch. Here's the lead-in text. Here's the example question that I didn't change and didn't delete. And here's the answer that I just created. And B is the correct answer. And here's the feedback that I assigned. And here A is the wrong answer. And here's that targeted feedback that I created to help students understand why it was incorrect, to address that misconception. What I didn't do yet was add any hints or tag the question. So let's go to the skills, and we'll attach the skill that this is testing. We're assessing the student's ability to describe plasma, and I can add hints. So the way that we think about hints is that there's usually 1 to 3. The first one is like essentially a rewording of the question to maybe get their juices flowing. The second one leads them toward the right answer but doesn't give it to them. And then the third one we usually reserve for we call it the bottom out hint. We tend not to give the answer explicitly unless it's a type of question where you can't access the question if you're guessing, like numeric input. It could be impossible for a student to ever reach the right answer. And so in that case, you would want to give the bottom out hint. You would want to use the bottom out hint as a way of giving them the answer so that they can understand what it is that they, where they should have arrived. So now that I've created, I've skill tagged it and added my hints, I want to go back and see it. So I go back to the page and preview it again. And now you can see that my changes will have appeared. And so now it has a hint. And when I click it once, I get hint 1, and then I can move forward and I get hint 2. And I'm gonna choose A. That was wrong. The hints didn't help me. But do you have any questions about how this works mechanically?
No, this is very clear.
Okay, good. So what I am not great at is parameterized questions. I can arrange for some training for you, Hong, or I would recommend you talk to Donald, who is the resident expert with writing them.
So you mean the downtown campus, the Atlanta?
Yeah, Don Harden.
Okay.
He's the one who does most of the coding for those questions, I believe.
Okay. I'm thinking, so in the echo, if I can see some examples, so how, for certain question, how the code is being written.
Sure.
I think I probably, can pick those up very quickly.
Okay. Yeah, in fact, I can just jump to one really quickly, or try to find one. So what is the newest version? Let's go. Here we go. So do you happen to know a good location for one? Like it.
Let me see. Yeah, probably the standard deviation stuff. Let me see.
How about random variables?
Yeah, let's take a look at random variable. Let me see. Yeah, random.
I don't know where the
distribution.
I don't know where the
yeah, that's first
assessments are in this.
Yeah, section 15. I think they're probability distribution. There might be some over there.
Okay. Let's see if there's something on the last page of. So these are tutors, which I don't know. These are multiple choice.
These are multiple choice
only. Yeah, so these are not. Let me take a look. I'll figure it out.
Okay.
Well, that points to another page. Probably extra questions. More multiple choice. Let's take a look at test 2 review. I bet I'm there. So question pool. So here's another item that this enables you to do is build your assessments from pools.
Okay.
In this case, test 2 review is a series of, let's see, 40 pools based on, what kinds of questions they want to ask about. And when you click on the pool that you've added, you can go visit the pool, but you also get to choose the question delivery strategy. In this case, it will pull a question at random and it will deliver one question. So let's take a look at it. And well, this one only has one question, but it indeed is parameterized. So you can see down here, give you some that four variables have been created.
Okay.
And this is how they've been. This is how this question has been constructed.
I see. Yeah, I think it's not that hard. I mean, at least for for this question, yeah, it's not that much coding.
Yeah, and then you can test the expressions. You can go ahead and run through the test and get the actual numbers to make sure that they evaluate properly. But I think Donald and Wei are probably on main campus are the two resident experts in this.
Yeah, they know how to do this.
Yeah. So everything that a student interacts with in a course is in some way assessing their knowledge state. The practice exercises and the scored formative exercises both function the same way in terms of determining their current learning state. They both, the questions contribute to that learning estimate in the in identical ways, and therefore the two exercises, practice and scored, are essentially the same for whatever reason. And this is information that has been lost to history. They are slightly different in the question types. So so pools can only exist at the moment in scored assessments. You can't put pools in practice exercises. I don't know why. The new system will not have that limitation. When
so you are saying the pool, we cannot pull questions from, those pools into the practice, like the learn by doing?
Correct. That's right.
We can only get a question from the pool for the checkpoints and test reviews and the real test.
That's right.
Okay, I see.
Correct. Yeah. In the pool, or in a summative assessment, you have these question types. So multiple choice, check all that apply; ordering, which is like a drag and drop, like a list ordering; short answer, which is the short open-ended response; essay, which of course is self-explanatory; and then the input types. So text input, numeric input, drop down, where you choose from a list, and math type. And so you can have, there's no limit to the number of questions that you can add to any assessment or any pool. But when it comes to the practice exercises, there is no essay for the learn by doings and did I get this exercises, and there are no pools, but everything else is the same. And again, one other difference is that there is a hotspot activity in practice where you can add an image and assign different zones to deliver different content. So the easiest one to imagine is like an anatomical model, where you ask somebody to click on the femur, and they have to click on the femur, and when they do, it delivers content based on what they clicked. That is in the practice exercises, in the learn by doing and did I get this, the formative exercises. So we've been over a lot. Do you have any more questions?
Yes, I have two questions. So I have a Echo sandbox for the elementary statistics. So if I if I create some new content or modify the existing content, how can I publish that? Because I would like to have that published in the learning, so the LMS, the iCollege, so that I can show my colleagues and get their comments or ideas. So it's just like kind of like a mock course.
So if you do want to go so far as putting it in the LMS instead of just having them log into the OLI website, there would be a few more steps involved. But essentially, you would do your work, and then in the workflow tab, you would request QA, which means you're ready for testing, you're ready for quality assurance.
Okay.
And what we would do is we would move your material to a QA server. It's a mirror. It's a technical mirror of the production server. Because this is a development server, where we're always testing new technologies, and there could be odd behavior, unexpected behavior. Not that we think there is, but there could be. Whenever you click preview course, which is the button that enables you to see everything just like you would in the production environment. you're looking at a dev server.
Okay.
You're not looking at the production. But when you do QA, we send it to the QA server. Now that is usually the best place to share it with your colleagues.
Okay, so you mentioned my colleagues can log into their OLI account to view the stuff I created without going through the iCollege, right? I mean, that if that can be done, that's okay too. So how do they log in? Do they have a OLI account?
Well, we have this QA server where you have to have your own account.
Okay.
Let me sign in. So this is where we would put your material. It looks just the same as the regular QA, as the regular server where students would be.
Okay.
But it's just for testing purposes.
Okay.
Everybody who you want to be able to view the course would need to come here and create an account so that they could see your material. There's there isn't like a guest mode. They just create their account, and if you want them to be in the course, if you want them to just evaluate it like from the student perspective, then they can just enroll in it.
I need to give them sort of like a course key or something?
Yeah, but the process is really easy.
Key?
The course key is part of the configuration process. So let's say you have an account here. We're already past that, and you've signed in. You have this create a new course link here.
Oh, okay.
When you click it, you now have the option to build. You have the ability to build your course, configure it for people to use it. And again, we're just in the test environment here.
So the QA, right? The
that's right.
Up here.
Yeah, you can see that up here. It's QA01. So you click next you're just going to use simple mode because you don't need to do any of the fancy stuff. Okay. So in here, you're going to choose, I don't know how GSU is listed. Maybe it's not here. Maybe, oh, here we go. Introduction to Statistics, Georgia State. So whatever one you're working on in Echo, okay, I'm sorry, it's over here. You will see that. So let's say you're working on your sandbox. It's called GSU Elementary Statistics, and then do sandbox version 5.3. You will see that here after we publish it. So it will say your version will be selectable in that list. You'll find it. Okay. You'll choose it, and you will build your course from the organization that you've selected. And it really only takes total about a minute.
Okay.
So 1 sec. You just give it a date. This is these are irrelevant. As long as it's in the future, it will work. It doesn't control anybody's access.
Okay. Oh, I see.
Okay, you're at GSU. Here's where you put in the course key. This is you configuring your course. You're just going to put in, do demo. Okay, whatever. You can put in anything you want as long as it's alphanumeric and it's between 4 and 12 characters.
Okay.
And then you click next, and you click finish, and that's it. Your course is made. Now that course key you give to the people who you want to evaluate it.
Okay.
And when they come to QA, they just land here, and if they click register, you can just create an account, or the easier way is to now click student.
Okay. And
put in do demo, and they will be asked to either create a new account, or if they already have a QA account, sign in. So I will make a demo student. I have to use my personal email address, otherwise it actually Otherwise, it asks me, it tells me I have to sign in from CMU. And OLI is my institution, and I will choose a password. And so I'm confirming who I am.
Okay.
I am confirming my intention to, well, my data could be used for learning science purposes anonymously. And now I'm confirming that I want to register for this course. And now I'm a student in this course and I can explore it.
The course.
Yeah. Okay. Now it's important to know that because QA is separate from Echo, anything that you go back here and change now will not automatically appear here until we republish to the QA server.
Oh, okay. So every time if I want to update this, I have to republish, like go through the,
Yes.
QA again, right?
Yes. Now the easier way to do that is to just use preview course.
Okay.
And add people to your, if you wanted to add people to your, trusted, if you wanted to add trusted colleagues, you can add them here and then they can just sign in and preview the course themselves.
Okay. I see.
It takes a little while.
Basically, they are in my Echo account.
Yeah. So think of this as a project. Your account is you when you sign in.
Yeah.
But this is a project. So if you created your, if we were looking at your Hongdu project, which is here. One sec. Because I'm an admin, it loads a lot of stuff.
So if I add them into my Echo, so that means they can also, add contents as well. So we are working together on this course.
That's exactly right. So here on the overview, you can add team members simply by typing in their name.
Oh, okay.
And choosing them.
Okay.
And then when they sign in, they'll see it in their list of courses.
Then so you're saying they have to sign in. So where do they sign in? Do they have to create an account?
In Echo, yeah. But most of your colleagues already have an Echo account, don't they?
Yeah, they do. They also have Sandbox, I think. Yes.
Yeah. Right. So everybody's sandboxes is they are their own encapsulated environments, and none of those contents are mingling.
Okay. So if I already have this Echo account, so when I go to the QA, so the production server, do I need to create another account in order to get in there?
You do, and I'm sorry. I know that's inconvenient. It's a bad old school design, but it is the case that each of those servers requires its own account. You can have the same login and password, but you have to actually create the account.
So when I create an account, I don't need a course key or anything, right? I just need to create it. I don't need anything from you or.
When you do what?
On the production server on the QA. When I log in there, when I create an account there, all I need to do is to make a username and a password. There's nothing else.
No, we do need to add instructor privileges so that when you need to tell us when you create your account because when you when you sign in, a student does not have the ability to create a new course. Otherwise, they could set up their own section and see all of the answers. So the only way that you have privileges to create and configure a course is by being vetted as an instructor.
Okay.
So you just got to let us know when you create that account.
Okay. Okay, great. Oh, I have a second question. Remember the co-requisite I mentioned?
Yeah.
So if I want to build that within, using the Echo, do I need to request another sandbox?
No, I'll show you that in a moment, I think, because something seems to be going on with Echo.
Okay.
It's not loading. Give me a second. I'm letting the team know. So normally there would be, when you sign in, there's a create new course up here that just creates a brand new empty template. So it's a unit with a generic name and a module with a generic name and a single page that's like, getting started.
I see.
And
but the general layout will be already there, right?
no, the general layout has to be created by you because it's empty. There's nothing there.
Okay. But remember, so when we first, get into the OLI, there's the course syllabus. So that template, course syllabus, gradebook, and all that will be there. All I need to do is just create the pages, create the modules, create the pages with content in it. Then that's it.
Well,
and do the assessment, of course.
These things don't exist until somebody creates them.
Yes.
So Unit 4 gases was created by somebody. When you create a brand new project, there are two options. One is that you're building it from scratch and there's no content. So in that case, you have to go in and create all of these units. And then all of the modules that are in the units over time. I mean, you don't have to know the structure right on day one. The other option is to start with an OLI course as the foundation, which sounds like what you're describing.
Like if I, if OL already have a similar course, then I can probably build upon that.
And I don't think that we have a pre-stats course.
Okay.
But yes, if we did, you absolutely would be that would be the process, would be that we would set you up with your own version of it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if I, finish creating it and then publish and then employ it to the iCollege for the actual use, does the student get charged?
Currently, we have an arrangement where something's echo is down at the moment. So the short answer is yes, but we can do piloting and you can do combinations of material to keep the cost down.
Okay. Even though, basically we created the course ourselves, but still the student will get charged. The reason I'm asking is because, you see, so the majority of the instructors on the parameter side are still using the Pearson textbook. So they are building the co-requisite into that course, but they didn't like charge extra on top of that. So
so if you were building, if you were that's what I meant by combining. So if you were combining it with the statistics course that you're delivering, then we wouldn't charge you extra for that.
Yeah, if we combine that, does it mean we're gonna have two OLIs in the iCollege?
That's up to you. I mean, if you want to have two courses, then you can do that, or you can just literally put them into the same OLI course, which is what we would probably recommend.
Okay. But the problem is we have clean elementary stats. So those students, do not need the co-requisite, but there are also sections, which needs the co-requisite. And besides, the grades are gonna be assigned, separately for these two courses, because essentially these are still two courses. So the grade book have to be separated. So if we combine that in one OLI, then it's gonna take the instructor a lot of time to get the grades out and to separate them. Yeah.
Well,
sorry to interrupt, ma'am. I need to go. So, Harold, is it possible to send the recorded video of this meeting today?
Yeah, I'll upload it to YouTube and share the link with you.
Okay, that would be great. And I'll email you if I have any questions. I'm sorry, I need to go, and you guys keep talking. Okay.
Okay. Thanks,
Bye.
Cash. Good to see you.
Yeah.
Take care.
Bye.
So Hong, in the OLI gradebook here, let's actually go to one. In the gradebook, you can, so imagine if this was, each of the units, and then you had your co-rec materials, either at the beginning or at the end. You can simply export the grades from the areas that you want.
Okay.
Yeah. So the way that this works is you just you expand the ones where the scores are that you want to have, and then once they're expanded, when you export that, it only exports the expanded content.
So how about the clean ones? So if the sections do not need those prerequisites, those co-rec. Okay, so I still have to have another course which has these two materials separated, right?
Yeah, so what you're describing is the perfect use case for organizations.
Oh, okay.
So you would have your clean course, and then you would have your clean plus co-rec. And they're all built here in the same project. I'm sorry that this error message keeps coming up. There's something's going on with Echo, and I've pinged the team, but they're it's probably going to take them long enough before to fix it that our time together will end first. But in the organizations,
sorry for taking you so long.
Oh no, it's perfectly fine. The way organizations work is that this is a repository. It's just a bucket of all the material that you could have in your course, and the organization is the actual outline of the materials that you do want to use. You don't have to use everything. So imagine you have your clean course.
Okay.
That's the first organization. And then you duplicate that. Now you have two organizations that are identical.
Okay.
But in the second organization, you start adding some of that co-rec material. And now you have two versions. And you'll recall when we did that when I created this course on the QA server, there were different options that I chose from. One of them was the Maymester section, and one of them was Excel, and then one of them said do not use. Each of those was an organization inside of your project.
Oh, okay.
So if you had one that was just clean course and one that was co-rec course, they would be in the same project. You would choose the Hongdu selection, but then you would have two options. Which one do you want? And then you could use those for the appropriate iCollege sections.
I think so. What you are saying is, so in my Echo account, I can create the clean, elementary stat course, and then I can duplicate this. Okay, so basically it's another course, but I'm gonna add the co-requisite material into it. So basically I have two courses. Okay.
Yes, so it isn't, it's you have the idea. Yeah, so over here, I don't know if this, it does load. So general chemistry has different organizations. Okay. Default, the CMU summer, an organization that was tailored for one of the authors, the one that's open and free, and then one that's an experimental one with cognitive tutors in it.
Okay.
And each of these is they're almost all identical.
Okay.
But in some places, like for instance, the CTAT one, they've added extra material that doesn't appear in the other.
Oh, okay. Okay.
And everywhere that they share content, you only have to make one edit for that edit to propagate to all of them. So this, whatever the welcome page is, course introduction, that course introduction page is used in all 5 of those. The course introduction is just one page, and it's in 5 organizations, but it's just one page. So when I change, if I were to take out this paragraph, that paragraph would be removed from all 5 of those organizations.
Oh, okay, I see.
Now if one of them needed a unique introduction page where the content was totally different from the other organizations, or like I'm putting in a tutor, an experimental tutor that I only want in one of the courses, or I'm putting in co-rec material. Let's say I want an introduction to co-rec OLI chemistry. Then what I would do is I would duplicate this page.
Oh, okay.
And I would use the duplicate instead.
So without changing the source file.
That's right. That's right. So I would duplicate this page. The source would stay the same. And then what I would do is I would go to the organization. Here, this is easy to demonstrate. I'll actually show you.
Okay.
So I will duplicate. Hopefully it works. I'm on the page and I duplicate it. And now I'm on the copy. Okay. So watch what happens when I delete this content. I'm just going to remove it from the page.
Okay.
Now, this copy, you saw me. All I did was duplicate it. I didn't actually decide where it should be in the course. It's just a copy. It's just in the bucket. It isn't assigned anywhere yet. So, yeah, something's going wrong. I'm afraid that that we won't be able to tell. When you go to this page that was the source, that text is still here. So now what I need to do, cannot save. What I would do is I would remove this page and then I would add the existing copy that I just made. Let's see if it is there. Okay. So now I insert the copy when it works. Sorry, something's going on with that go at the moment. So the copy would be there, but it's not in the other organizations. It's just here in this CTAT organization. This one is unique. I want the CTAT organization to have this special CTAT intro page. Okay. This copy does not exist in the other organizations now. When we go to default, the default organization still has the original OLI. Right. Right. Does that make sense?
Yes, it's pretty straightforward. This is very.
It is.
Yeah.
This is so that you can make an edit once and have it propagate everywhere that the page is referenced. Everywhere that this page is supposed to appear.
Okay.
You only have to update it once.
Oh, wow.
So if you created 2 courses, you would only have to make your edits once and it would appear in both places.
Oh, okay. Okay. I see.
Okay.
Yeah, this is very, very helpful.
Good.
Thank you so much.
You're very, very welcome.
I have been, wanting to learn this for a while because we worked on this project since the summer. And so for our perimeter, campuses, we had a pretty rough time, because we have weaker students.
Okay? Oh, okay.
So this requires, the students to be very, self-disciplined, skilled at time management. But the thing is, our student are not, are not good at those things. And besides, I have 2 sections which needs the co-requisite, and we do not have material, aligned with the OLI material.
Okay.
So we have to kind of start, kind of from scratch to put things together. So I'm thinking before the spring semester starts, I want to put things here in the OLI. So that for the next semester, we can, at least, the faculties on our team can, take a look and refine it and see if it can be employed for the fall 2021.
Okay, great. You might also be interested in knowing we have a new course that was developed by some researchers at the University of New Hampshire.
Okay.
Called the Student Cognition Toolbox.
Oh, okay.
And it helps students understand effective studying techniques based on the kind of content that they're engaging with.
Okay.
And make the best use of their time learning the material.
Is it part of the OLI or it's a
yeah,
separate thing?
No, we added it to OLI just a few weeks ago. It's finally been published.
Oh, okay. So for the spring semester, we're gonna see that tool.
It's another course. We call it a
another course. Okay, so not every course has that tool. Okay.
It is right. It would be sort of like how you want to have that co-rec material that sort of like accompanies a course.
Yes.
That's what the Student Cognition Toolbox would be. We have a few of them that we call them sidecar courses, where it's sort of like ancillary material that helps. So we have ones that are in collaboration and in conflict resolution, like for student groups to work together. There are ones that are being developed on writing. There's this one on on studying techniques. And it has been very, very effective for they've tested it over the course of 2 years with several thousand students at University of New Hampshire, and it's been incredibly effective.
Okay.
And we're now working. They are currently working on a stats focused one.
Oh, okay.
Where it actually speaks directly to the stats studying experience and focuses on that. So keep an eye out for that, because that might be helpful for students who are struggling with the actual act of learning.
Yeah, they need a lot of support.
Yeah, I understand. And it's so much harder online.
Yeah, it is. It is. Yeah. So yeah, if they're developed, then keep us updated. So we definitely want to like take a look and see if works for our students.
Yeah. Okay. I will.
Okay. Thank you so much for today. I learned a lot.
Sure. I'm glad to help. And you don't have to wait to, set up these, to join these webinars if you need assistance. It's okay to reach out directly to me.
Okay, I will.
and I'm happy to help anytime you need.
Sure. So for the QA account, I think I may send you an email, requesting that instructor, permission. Okay.
Yeah. Right.
Thank you so much.
You're very welcome. Oh, and last thing, specific to your case is the fact that those sandboxes were created with material from last fall, I think.
Okay.
So if the current GSU statistics material is at version 5.3, I'm assuming you want your sandbox to reflect that, right?
Yes. So yeah, the current one we're using. Yes.
Yeah, it does not. So the sandbox was really just meant as a place for you guys to play around and test and not really publish. So let's, instead of calling it a sandbox, let's actually set up a real bona fide project for you.
Okay. Yeah, that's even better.
Okay. All right. So
I'm gonna have another basically Echo account, right?
Well, it's not an account, it's a project.
Okay, project.
Yeah. Just noting this.
Okay. So I will be expecting like an email from you with like the username and the password.
Well, you already have an Echo account. Have you used it?
Yeah, I used it before. Yeah, that's how I access the sandbox.
Okay, so what you'll see is I'm going to remove the sandbox
Okay.
and just replace it with the new project, and you'll see it when you log in, probably
So
tomorrow.
okay, so it's gonna be the same credentials.
Yes. Yeah, you don't have a new account. It's just a new development project for you in your list.
Okay, great.
All right.
Yeah, I will try it out tomorrow and see if it's, if it's being set up.
Okay.
I might,
Great.
I might, I mean, I may forget the password. So if I did, then I just,
There is a password reset tool. Yeah.
Okay, great. So
And
that's all.
your username is hdu7@gsu.com or .edu.
So that's my email address, huh?
Yeah, that's what you set up your account with.
Okay. Sounds
right.
great.
Okay, awesome. I'm glad this was helpful.
Thank you so much.
You're very welcome. Let me know how else I can help.
Okay,
And,
I will.
have a great holiday if I don't talk to you.
You too.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
See you later. Bye.
Bye.